Hey everybody, my name is Letiredd, content creator over on Twitch, and I mainly create stuff around Star Citizen. And today we're going to be reacting to another, what is this called? Behind the Ships, RSI Aurora Mark II. Kind of interested to see what the Mark II looks like. I know we saw last week a little teaser, but we didn't see much. And then the leaks kind of came out yesterday. So we started to see, or was it before yesterday? Anyways, started to see what it looked like. It looks very cool. So I'm curious what they have to say about it. Again, it is a ship, and I'm just not the most interested person in ships, so whatever. But let's check it out.
So the RSI Aurora is the quintessential starter Star Citizen ship.
For the people that have been with the project a long time, it was one of the first ships that they saw.
So it gave you that first experience of boarding your own ship, exploring the interior, although limited, and then finally climbing into the pilot seat and then taking off for your first mission or exploration. Whilst the game has evolved over the last decade and we have learned a lot more about building spaceships in that time, we felt that now was the right time to go revisit the Aurora series.
Doing a follow.
I just want to point out they revisited their first starter ship before the game got released. Just let that sink in for a second. I don't think many projects can claim to have done that. What's up, Iska? How you doing, man?
The original Aurora is actually quite the task because you have to make sure that it's as beloved as the original.
See, this is why I thought it was another Scorpius when I saw the Caesar. It's the folded wings. I was like, oh, there's a Scorpius variant. Nope.
The Mark II combines the classic
Iska Flow, they're stealing our videos. They're doing low flying. Bastards, no. I'm kidding.
DNA of the original Mark I Aurora, and then brings it up to modern day standards, both in terms of visuals and gameplay loop.
RSI tend to want to kind of push the boundaries a little bit. They want to look back and see what they've done in the past and what was successful, but they're not scared to really embrace new ideas. We've tried to keep the overall proportions and styling of the base Aurora with the Mark II, but we just tried to sharpen it up.
It has a really angular style. It looks really sleek. Everything flows, and it has this sort of layered, armored look.
The circular door is still there to enter the ship, but it's hidden by the newer layered RSI door designs.
We've still got those really iconic 4 wings down the sides that give the ship its length.
There's also some doors that open up and they show the VTOLs underneath, which are these fans that help support the ship while it's changing trajectories.
There's even a cool new feature where you can vault onto the top of the ship over the front canopy.
My favorite part of that entire ship is actually the back section. It has tons of detail that all lines up towards the center of the ship.
Something we were keen to follow up with is some of the RSI ships have transforming states, such as the Scorpius.
We were playing with the idea of like, do we open the wings? Do we not open the wings? And as soon as we kind of started playing with the idea and seeing how it looked, it just felt natural.
The base Aurora Mark II comes with 4 size 2 weapon hardpoints, as well as 4 size 2 missile hardpoints, each defaulting to 2 size 1 missiles.
The guns are actually attached to what the wings are attached to. So when the wings pop off, the guns are still attached to the ship.
So if you lose your wings, you're not totally out of the fight.
No, so if you lose your wings, you'll lose your missiles, and you'll lose the VTOL if you lose the bottom wings.
When we were doing the original design for the Mark II Aurora, one thing that came up with...
Question. I hope the fans have no effect on space. Okay, that wasn't a question. That was more of a statement. I hope the fans have no effect in space. But the Aurora looks cool.
Do we want to do variants or do modules?
In terms of production, a variant of a ship is actually a lot of work on our part. You have to redo modeling, you have to almost rethink the whole entire ship.
The ship now, instead of being a variant, comes with 2 different modules.
And the advantage of modules is you buy one Aurora Mark II, and forever in the future, when upgrades happen to the ship, you can grab that module and then add it to your own ship.
The TS module, or what we internally refer to as the cargo module, provides an additional 6 SEU cargo on a drop lift, which takes the whole cargo capacity of the Aurora Mark II with it equipped to 8 SEU, which is pretty competitive in a starter ship. And then
Okay, the module part is probably the coolest thing about this entire video. I mean, I haven't seen the end, I'm halfway through, but I'm making that statement already because that is a huge part of what ships can and can't be or will become. So yeah, it's actually really awesome to see them starting to show that to us. I'm actually surprised to see it be something that apparently you can take on and off with a tractor beam. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of expected like they were showing just right then, which is you do it through your, your vehicles tab and your mobi-glass. That is kind of cool. Makes me very curious about if that's how they intend to implement it for all the other ships that have modules. I don't think so, because I don't know why. I'm thinking the Galaxy. In the Galaxy, I think all the modules are internal. Nothing's external. So, but that's still cool that for smaller ships, they intend for you to be able to basically swap out the modules yourselves by hand. I don't know if that'll be something you'll really do more than once or twice and then, just go back to the mobi-glass to do it. Or maybe that's something they plan on taking out of the mobi-glass for smaller ships. So that's interesting. That was actually kind of interesting. The added cargo, I mean, yeah, as a starter, that makes it way more interesting now. So that was a good idea on that part.
One of the big changes with the TS cargo module and the base Aurora is the cargo is held internally rather than underslung underneath, so it's more protected.
So it's great for somebody who's just getting started, who wants to do hauling missions before upgrading to something bigger like a Zeus.
Or you can either go with a defense module, which adds 8 S2 missiles and also 1 S1 shield generator in the back of it.
So if you add 8 S2 missiles, you're much more lethal. And if you add another S1 shield, you're adding 50% more shield to your ship.
So the player can decide whichever one suits their playstyle the most.
In the future, we can definitely foresee other modules coming along, and anybody who has the Aurora Mark II now will be able to use those modules later on.
That's a good question. I don't know if these modules are going to affect the flight physics model of this specific ship when you swap out modules. It's a great question. I don't think we're there yet, honestly, with the flight model. I think there's a lot of data this game has to process at any given time. So if that does become a thing, I think it's far down the line. But that would be cool.
One of the kind of limiting factors of the Mark I was its overall size. With the Mark II, we built it more from the inside out, so we knew all the features that we wanted it to deliver.
You get in from the airlock door. On your left, you have the nice pilot seat. We have a nice view from there. We have a lot of glass, so we can really see space from pretty much everywhere when you turn around. You have 2 shelves for mission boxes, so you can take the ship to do missions. You have engineering screen with components below that. If you continue on the right, you have a suit locker and a weapon rack. And at the end of the ship, you have the bed with a lot of space compared to the first Aurora. When you lie down, you have a big screen on top of your head.
It's very enclosed, but it all has a very functional.
Confirmed that we're getting pizza in game, or you just got pizza. What's up, Classical? I saw the pizza boxes in the thing. I figured that was just them adding that as decoration.
Style to it. Everything like sort of feels like it should be where it is. The paints are awesome. We have a lot of cool options.
We have
That
a
one
solid
looks
black
cool.
one. We have a bronze and green one. There's one tint that's iridescent that's inspired by an Aurora Borealis. I think that one came out really well. One of my favorite tints was inspired by an old video game that I grew up with that I
I'm not convinced on that one. I'll have to see more.
loved. And I think when the players find it, they'll be doing some barrel rolls.
Alongside the Mark II Aurora, we also wanted to celebrate the Mark I Aurora, and for that reason we decided to introduce a 6th special edition variant called the Aurora Mark I SE.
So the Mark I Special Edition is really our sending off of the Mark I. It's taking all of the best elements from the different Mark I models that we do and combining them into one.
So it takes the improved cargo of the CL, the base level of the MR, the weapon loadout and the intakes of the LN, and then the luxurious take of the LX seat.
We also wanted to give it a really nice unique paint. And we wanted to give it a nice update to the interior in terms of its materials and its colors. So it kind of feels like a high-end sports model of some of the cars you see out and about.
So is the Mark II replacing the Mark I?
No, it's not replacing it. So you still get to keep all your Mark I Auroras. RSI just aren't manufactured anymore. Just like the Mark I Hornets, they're here to stay in-game. They're still going to be supported. They're still going to have bug fixes. They're going to have any features that they don't support yet updated in time to support that. They're here to stay, but we hope they will turn into this classic car status within the universe.
I'm very happy with the ship. The team did a great job.
It is clearly an Aurora, but brought up to just kind of modern RSI visuals.
I have a big background in creating the first levels of games. For me as a designer, I thought a lot about the new player coming on and having the ship be as welcoming as possible.
It's a great starter package. It's everything you could want to start the game with.
But even if you have other ships, it's there as a sort of useful modular utility ship that you can just have as your second ship, perhaps, when your main ship is perhaps being claimed or damaged and you just want to get back out there.
Okay, well, I'm so here's where my head's at. I'm thinking, I remember what, a year ago, maybe less, maybe more, give or take a few months. We were talking about them doing gold passes and bringing some ships up to standard that had been, untouched for years. So I wonder if this all came about was like, okay, we need to do a gold standard. Crap, well, the ship really doesn't fit with anything anymore in the game, so let's just make a new one. That's kind of what it feels like. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just, again, like I was saying earlier, I think it's funny that the starter ship got a revamp and got a Mark II before the game actually came out. But I guess we're going to see a lot more of that since we're probably still a few years away from release. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily a negative thing. It's just kind of just a fun fact. This game has been in development forever. But yeah, Mark II looks cool. Some of the paints were cool. That Aurora Borealis one, I'm not convinced. That's not my style. Maybe it'll work for some of you. I don't think that one's for me. But I mean, there really wasn't much besides just looking at the ship. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of ships, so I don't have a ton to say about them other than cool. I hope they make enough money so that we can keep developing the game. And I'd really just love to see a playable verse sooner than later. But all right, everybody. We got a cool ship. Check out eventually in game. I'm not going to be buying it. I don't need a new starter. But before we go, let's look at this together. Let's go see what this new ship is going to cost. Okay, I was getting ready to give them shit for doubling the price of the Aurora. I gotta say, they just took the wind out of my sails. Oh, I'm sorry. It's $60 on sale for $45. It's a decent deal, but Still $60. I mean, it's a starter. You know what? I'm actually somewhat okay with that. It's less than the price of a new modern AAA game. If you can get it on sale, even better. And guess what, guys? We all know what this month's giveaway is going to be. Okay, what do you get with this? 1 vehicle. Check. 1 paint. Cool. 7 gear items. It's like Venture helmet, core, arms, legs, back flak, Venture suit. None of that is very interesting. Lifetime insurance. I know a lot of you love that. That means nothing. You get the game. It's good. It's good. And extra 10,000 or 10,000 to start. Which is really, really not that much money. But all right, we're gonna be doing this as a giveaway. So it's $60. It's on sale right now. It's $45. Honestly, if you're thinking of getting the game, that's actually a pretty good starter to grab, especially since it's on sale. So, you know, that floats your boat.